And our coverage of the AI summit that is all set to kick off today in New Delhi continues right here on NewsX. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to inaugurate the India AI Impact Summit at Bharat Mandapam. As India positions itself at the center of the global artificial intelligence consensus, the summit is open to packed halls. Tech leaders, policymakers, founders and innovators from across the world have begun gathering in New Delhi. India is expected to push for wider access to AI technologies and seek international agreement on what it calls a global AI commons. In a post on X, the Prime Minister said India stands at the forefront of the AI transformation, adding the country's strides in artificial intelligence reflect both ambition and responsibility. He welcomed world leaders, industry captains and researchers to the summit. The event is seen as a key moment in India's push to shape global conversations on responsible and inclusive AI development. Joining us live at this point is Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist. We also have Nirali Bhatia, cyber psychologist, joining us live. K. Yatish Rajawat, CEO, Center for Innovation and Public Policy, also is joining us live in the broadcast. Gautam Mukherjee, as we build up to Prime Minister's address today, what are you expecting him to touch upon as the world converges in New Delhi for this AI Impact Summit?
I think we are taking the bull by the horns in the most exciting recent development in IT, which is AI. Now, what is remarkable is the size and scope of this summit, which has been organized. It is the fourth in series, I think, after France, Korea, and now India, and is probably the biggest. We are not only positioned as the representative of the G21 and the Global South, but also as one of the largest consuming countries in the world, which is well on its way to becoming the third largest economy worldwide. So we are positioned very, very substantially. Now, of course, services have represented 50% plus of our GDP for a number of years now. And most of our leading IT companies have embraced AI. TCS is working with chip makers. Infosys is developing its own AI platforms. Various others have collaborated, startups are collaborating, venture funds are here to assist. So this is indeed a very important development which will have far-reaching economic consequences. What is a point of caution is not to get too heavy on the regulatory aspects before the AI develops into a substantial revenue stream and gets away from the theoretics into the applications. Too much regulation in the beginning will hamper it because this is a developing area and needs the freedom to experiment and grow. Uday.
Yes, also Nirali Bhatia, India has been standing for and striving for responsible and inclusive AI. How can we lead the global conversation on this through this summit that we're hosting?
See, I think we've got one of the best platforms ever to set a precedent that ethics, responsibility has to start from design and not an after effect, which is what globally we are facing. That is where, we have been forced to come up with such stringent regulations. But I think with this kind of and this scale of an event that we are hosting, the summit that we are hosting, it's very important to have the dialogue of responsible usage and responsible development both in alliance with our DPDP Act and the regulations. So it becomes right from beginning an requirement as simple as any other technical requirement. So I guess it's a perfect opportunity to set that precedent.
Okay, let me in fact also take that to you, Yatish Rajawat. On of course this AI moment for India. What does this say about the AI sector in India, the fact that we're seeing almost 20 global dignitaries converge in New Delhi, apart from, of course, policymakers, change leaders, company heads, and other industry czars?
Uh, Thank you. I would just like to kind of point out, the context for this summit. What is happening in the world around us today is that AI is hyped up to a point that it has now started influencing not just strategies of companies, but strategies of countries. And this particular summit is a reflection that it has become so important, and it is so important that it is affecting a country level partnership is happening on a technology. Very rarely in our times, we have seen summits around, say, electrical energy or EV or anything else, but we're seeing a global summit of this kind. Now, the reason for that, again, to put a context and understand where this should go, technology and particularly AI is now being closely associated with progress. And this is the myopia of sorts where we have been misled by this hype that if we are part of this AI revolution, or if we are not part of it, we will somehow lose out on progress. And progress is being defined not as the economic growth of a country, but progress is being defined by adoption of AI at various levels and various layers. And these levels and layers are not always in sovereign interest. For instance, we are a very different country than an American or an European country. Our biggest resource at this point and our biggest challenge at this point is a jobful growth. We have 1.4 billion people, and we are basically, we have to create an economic which can absorb these individuals into jobs and the economic system. Now, because of this misconception that AI is technology and technology is growth and growth is progress and progress is economic growth, we have suddenly forgotten that there's a society also in the midst of all this. Economic systems do not work without society, and no technology can exist without society being part of it. So what is happening is a very myopic view. I was hearing the discussion since morning of the AI summit. I was very disappointed that every panel was focusing on the micro and the minutiae of the technology, like what will agentic AI do, or how will AI agentic harm or affect ESG, or what are we thinking about AI when we're thinking about healthcare. When the larger question is, and the elephant in the room is basically, how many jobs will we lose because of AI? What are we doing to protect our society and our economic system so that in future we don't have social disruption by one technology? This hype has kind of built on itself, and the fundamental questions are completely forgotten. So there is this magic thing that we will miss out. The fear of missing out on a technology has changed the debate to whether it is responsible, whether it is ethical, or whether it is good. But the fundamental question is how will it affect our society? How will it affect our companies? And more before the companies, how will it actually affect business and economic systems per se? And it will affect us detrimentally, because fundamentally the AI hardware layer, the bottommost layer, is one that is owned by 4 companies. So anything that you do above that layer, and as Ashwini Vaishnav also pointed out, that there are these 5 layers, and we are good at the app layer and we're good at the technical layer. See, the hardware layer is still owned by these 5 companies. So anything that we do, anything that we evolve, anything that we develop will finally get absorbed by these 5 layers. And even if suppose we evolve a law which says that this is how responsible AI should operate, do you think that the hardware layer or these 5 companies will accept the law that we bring out? They're just diverting the narrative in a manner that we are spending our energy in discussing responsible AI, and they are here taking over data of the country in such an insidious manner that we won't even have control over what happens when AI starts operating our systems. So I think we must understand that there is now, we used to talk about the North and the South divide and the digital divide. those things are now kind of fundamentally been taken over by who drives the AI narrative and who is following that narrative and who is building that narrative. And if you see the mix of people and the mix of organizations which are driving this, they're the same AI companies who are driving the narrative. And I don't want to name those companies because,
Yes. No, point taken, point taken. I'll come back to you. Let's quickly address some more news coming in right now. Mission Karm Yogi has highlighted its AI-enabled capacity building framework for civil servants at the India AI Impact Summit 2026, showcasing how technology is being integrated into governance reform. A joint stall by the Capacity Building Commission and Karm Yogi Bharat has presented a new generation of AI-powered learning tools built into the I Got Karm Yogi platform. These tools aim to make training role-based, personalized and multilingual, while embedding learning directly into day-to-day administrative functions. The initiative reflects the government's push to use AI not just for innovation, but for strengthening institutional capacity and public service delivery. So clearly, Mission Karm Yogi integrating multilingual AI tools, showing how AI can help in governance as well, Gautam Mukherjee.
Absolutely. There's no resisting technology. Every time new technology comes, there's always fear that, oh, it's going to take our jobs, it's going to enslave us to a cartel. But whatever it is, you've got to get into it. India is already late and has realized it is late. And that is why it sponsored such a huge summit. And now we must get into it with both feet and see how we can adapt it to our needs. Our consumption needs are humongous right here in this country. And like every other technology, including, for example, telecommunications, where again we got in late, we are now one of the most formidable telecommunications networks into 5G, into 6G, into billions of smartphones. So I have no fear of AI. I have no worry that it will put people out of jobs. That sort of thing is just Luddite thinking. And what we've got to do is embrace new technology and develop it and change it to our needs. We've done it in digital. In many ways, we are ahead of the world, including most of the developed world. And there's no reason why adoption of AI in India will not go, very swimmingly well. The only problem that I see, and I'll repeat what I said earlier, is don't over-regulate. Don't worry too much about what will happen if you don't regulate it. The time will come when you can. Right now, we don't need a lot of laws. Israel has no laws on AI because it's a developing industry. And I think we take a lot of cues from Israel, and this is a good one to take. Uday.
All right. Let me, in fact, also